Hi everyone, this is Om from Civil Center. Welcome to our channel. As we know, Civil Center is continuously working with the vision to guide civil engineering students and professionals. And for that, we keep making videos on different software and on different topics related to civil engineering field. So, what are we going to learn today? Welcome to the course of G+1 Building Detailing using Tekla Structures. So, in the last video, we have already learned how to place the C1 type of column in Tekla Structures. Now we are going to move to C2 type of column. And in this one, first of all, we will go to the structural drawing and there we will mark all the columns which are of C2 type. So I'm just marking all the columns of C2 type. So I have already marked one and I'm looking for the other columns. So I have another C2 over here and the third one over here. So I have completed the marking of these columns. Now what you need to do, we need to search for the specification of the column, and for that we are going to go for the column schedule. So I will simply go to the column schedule over here, and here you can see that first of all we will go for the footing type. What is the type of footing? So this footing is having 300 of depth, and then we need to find out the dimension of the column. So over here you can see the C2 type of the column is 350 by 250, okay, and it is lying on F2 type of footing. So we are going to assign the same. So first of all we are going to just assign the profile. So we will write it here 250 by 350 because we have to write that in the reverse order. So if your size is 350 by 250, then you have to write 250 by 350 in Tekla Structures. Now I will assign the top level and the bottom level. So since the depth is 300 over here, so I am going to make the bottom level as minus 1200 and the top level will be same as all other columns over here. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to change the property also. So material will also be assigned over here. So first of all let's assign the top level, that is 6707, and then we can simply go ahead and change the material of the column. So let's try placing one. So it is taking some time. Whenever you are changing or switching the structural member, like you are switching from the one type of beam to another type of beam, or column to beam, or even if you are changing the type of the column, then it will take some time to modify that. Now we can simply go ahead to the columns and then we will start with changing the grade. Okay, so for that we will go to our nodes, and from there we will find out what type of grade is being used over here and what is the orientation of the column that must be seen. Okay, because if you are changing the orientation of the column, this is going to affect your design. Okay, so over here I can see that we have horizontal columns over here. Okay, so we will go for the horizontal columns, and how we can do that? We can simply use the rotation. So I have to select my columns and enter the rotation value over here. Now that we have assigned the C2 type of column, we have to mark all the columns of C3 type over here, and we are going to repeat the process for this. So what we need to do, first of all we have to mark the C2 type of column, then we have to search for which type of foundation is being used beneath that. So over here you can see we have to use the S3 type of foundation and C3 type of column. So why is foundation being considered? To get the depth of the foundation, and based on the depth of the foundation we are going to simply set the bottom level of the column. Okay, so in this way we are going to do all these things. So let's select one column and check its property first, and if it is properly meeting all the requirements, then we will simply start placing the C3 type of column. Okay, so over here you can see that I have already marked all the C3 type of column over here, and now we can simply move to C4 type of column. Okay, so similarly you have to mark each and every type of column, and you have to set the orientation, and also you have to like place it properly. So what are the things that we need to consider? First, the type of column and the type of footing beneath that. Then we will go for the specification of the column, and in specification while modeling you have to consider just the sizes of the column and the footing. So what we need to set? We need to set the bottom level, top level, and cross section of the column. Okay, so this much is required for just placing the column, or you can say the modeling of the column. Now there can be two or more columns of the same size, same top level and the bottom level, but the difference will be there in the reinforcement. So for the modeling, it is easy if you are assigning this type of sizes to the column, and while actually working on the reinforcement, we will take care of each and every column individually. So you can see on the left my AutoCAD structural drawing is open, and on the right I am marking the columns. So once you highlight like this, then it is easy for you to check for the positions of the columns, and you can easily place them over here. Okay, similarly I will like choose for C5, mark them, choose their specification, and then set the specification in the properties box. After that we will simply place them, and last one is the C6 over here. We will repeat the process for that too. I will not take much of your time over here because this is all about practice, so you have to simply go ahead and practice for all these things to learn. So I am working with a C6 type, and now you can see that we may have missed a few columns over here. So what we have to do, we have to simply open the whole Tekla structure, both the plan view and the 3D view, and from there we will see if we have missed any type of column or not. So you can see this one I have missed, so I will simply copy it to the desired place. Okay, so I will go to the point intersection. I will show you again. So I have to select the object, go to copy, hold the point intersection and place it to the another place. So this C1 type of the column will be copied over here. Now we have to work for the C4 type of column. So in the structural drawing you can also see that here I have missed. Okay, no, the earlier one was C4 type and the next one is C1 type. So I have to simply again copy the whole column over here. And how to do that? Pay attention closely. You have to grab the point intersection and place it to the desired location. So first of all you will select the object, then grab a point, and then you will place it to another place. Okay, or you can say the desired place. So that's how we can complete the modeling of the column. So over here all the model columns has been modeled properly, and we will go to this particular view, that is the wireframe view. And how to do that? You will have to just enter the control plus 2 over here. If you are pressing control plus 4 button, then you will get this view, that is the solid view, and if you are going pressing the control plus 2, then you will get the wireframe view. Now what is the use of that? If you are working with this view, then you can easily copy any object. If you are working with the wireframe view, then you can see whether the column is exceeding its limit or not. Okay, so this way we have to simply do that. So whatever we have completed so far, first one is the modeling of the footing is completed, then the column placing is completed. Okay, or you can say the modeling of column is completed over here. Then we will go with the modeling of the plinth beam. So now we are going to start with the modeling of plinth beam over here. So first of all we need to notice what are the types of the plinth beam that we have over here. And you can see that we have two types of plinth beams over here. One is PB1 and another one is PB2. So first of all we need to figure out what kind of plinth beam is being used over here. But over here if I will go to the schedule of plinth beam, then you can see the sizes of both the plinth beam is 250 by 300. So we need not to worry about this one. While assigning the reinforcement, we will take care of which is PB1 and which is PB2. Okay, so we will start with that one. But over here we are going to do work on just this one. So I will have to just go ahead and find the positions of the plinth beams, and I can simply start placing them. Okay, so I will now show you how to do that. So first of all we need to learn a few things, like we have to first assign properties to our beam, and I will also go to the grid if it is required. So we have to work on the plan 609. Okay, why so? Because the position of the plinth beam, or you can see the height of the plinth beam, is 609 over here. So we are not going to work with 00 grid, or you can say we don't have to work with the plan 0. We have to work on the plan 609 because the plinth level is on the height of 609 from the ground level. Okay, So we are going to start our work from there. So here I have my plan, and now I will open up one plan on the left, and then you can see on the left I have the window for plan 609, and on the right we have the window for the basic view. So we are going to see the basic view for that. So I have already made a plinth beam over here, and you can see there are two methods of doing that. First one, you can go from point intersection to point intersection, or you can continue with end to end. Now the correct way is end to end, however both is correct for the modeling purpose, but the concrete may repeat itself. Okay, so we are going to start with end to end over here. So in the concrete calculation part, these things may be repeated, so that's why we are just to get the accurate results, we are going from endpoint to endpoint, and the endpoint will be the midpoint of this column, so we are going to model it accordingly. Okay, and now we will go ahead with the plinth beam. So you also need to see that you don't accidentally place the plinth beam at another gate, because it will just start hanging itself. Okay, so we will go ahead, and on the right you can see that our plinth beaming is being created. You can see on the right side over here the plinth beam is being created. Okay, now we will complete this modeling part in the similar way. We have to grab the endpoint, and then we can just draw the plinth beam over here. Okay, so similarly I will just take the reference from my structural drawing and draw the whole plinth beam in my Tekla Structures model. So over here you can see I have accidentally placed a beam over here, so I will have to delete it. Now if you are working like this, then you will have to adjust the sizes. So what we can do, we can simply extend the size of one of the plinth beam and reduce the size of another one. Okay, so this way you can simply start working on the plinth beams over here. And when it comes to joining, or you can also use the poly beam over here. If you want to go for the reinforcement, then you can also use the poly beam. That will also save your time. Otherwise you can also go for individual beam over here. So I am using the individual beam over here, and in the beam column schedule I will show you how to use the poly beam. Okay, because that's the thing that we need to learn in this. Okay, so we have already started the modeling over here. Now we will take the reference up from the structural drawing, and we will keep modeling the plinth beams. So what we need to do, we need to keenly observe what is there in our structural drawing, and from there we can take the help and we can simply draw our plinth beam. So I guess this is completed, and if it is missed out we will check it again in our next session, and then we will go for the beam schedule, or you can say the modeling of beam over there. So we need to place another plinth beam over here, so I will simply place it over here. So you can see we can't grab the endpoint, so we need to work with the point intersection, and then we will simply drag it and give it a particular distance over here. Okay, so this is a simple method of doing all these things, and if you have any kind of doubt you can simply ask that in the WhatsApp group in which you are added, and if you are watching this on YouTube you can also ask your doubt or in the comment section. Okay, and we will meet in the next video. So guys, that was all for today. If you want more such informative videos, then you can visit our YouTube channel, as well as you can also visit our Facebook page, where you will find a number of YouTube videos and the informative posts related to our live online classes. So if you want to register for our live online classes, then you can simply go to the link given in the description. All you have to do is to click on that link, and it will open up a Google form for you. You have to just fill your details over here, and I will personally give you a call and I will guide you how to proceed to join our live classes. See you in the next video. Thank you.